to all the dispossessed youth of Africa, for perpetuation of communion with ancestral spirits through the fight for African freedom, and in the firm faith that the dead, the living, and the unborn will unite to build the destroyed shrines. Selah. Hello and welcome, beloveds, to another episode of Wake Up Africa. My name is Dr. Mumbi Saraki. How you doing? How's everything going? I really do pray, that you are well in all your ways and that you're moving into living life truly on your own terms. Really want to thank each and every one of you for supporting the channel on Patreon. Go ahead and consider supporting us. Also, just consider subscribing. It's absolutely free. And hit that notification button so that you find out every single time we upload a new episode. I thought I would bring this point to the forefront. A lot of what we read in Revelations, beloveds, is a lie. I mean, if we know that the entire Bible has been doctored and twisted and turned and, reverse engineered, etc., or reversed and messed with, but they had to keep a lot of truth in there because a lie cannot travel far or doesn't have the necessary sticky effect if it's not, clothed in the truth. There is now, so a lot of revelations. A lot of what we see in Revelations is actually how they interpret reality, how they interpret the end, but that's not exactly how it's going to happen. And one of the most toxic lessons of religion, beloveds, especially Christianity, I'm not very familiar with Muslim, Islam, etc., but especially with Christianity, is this idea of an external savior. Beloveds, no one's coming to save you. No one's going to come from, anywhere to come save your ass. Let me just put it like that. You see, what we were waiting for was reinforcements, spiritual reinforcements, so that when we tried to break out of this prison planet, we were secure spiritually. Because we were here physically, and the reason we've been unable, every liberation has failed, every revolution has kind of been sidetracked or diluted, is because we had the physical. Maybe we had some of the physical, but spiritually, we didn't have the necessary backup and necessary reinforcement. And a lot of us were doing things from the physical first, instead of doing it from the mind, from the mental, from the spiritual first. And so we were only fighting half the battle. But now we've gotten the necessary spiritual reinforcements. They've come through. And it happened with the switching of the ages. It's like we were in total darkness or false light. Let me say that. Total false light scenario where a lot of us were in the illusion. A lot of us were in the fantasy, couldn't even see the fantasy. And our minds were kind of carried into this whole, fake cycle of reality. And because of the astrological alignments and the Piscean age being such an emotional age, and so certain powers were more accentuated, etc., etc. I'm not an astrologer, so I'm not going to go too deep. We didn't have access to certain things. We were constantly bombarded, and many didn't have the capabilities to get out themselves, But now, beloveds, we're in a totally different, we've come back into black matter. The sun is about to shine again, full on. And in this, it's like now also we've come back online. It's like we went round, the way you go on, you go round and then you come, let's say at night, and then you come and daybreak comes. So we're in that daybreak situation where we're back online, we're back connected, like our ancestors can reach us, the ancient ones can reach us, the Great Spirit can reach us, nature can reach us, because there was a serious barrier. But now that barrier is falling because it was created for a previous age, and that age has ended. So it was created on the principles of that age that would mash us up. Like I said, the emotional. A lot of what, Babylon created was about an emotional, fearful, anxious. It was all about those lower level, lust, all these things, lower level emotions, and creating a reality on those lower level emotions. But now as we get higher, those lower level emotions can't hold us. And so the lower level reality can't hold us. But the biggest mistake that many of people are making is they're literally waiting, beloveds, for some kind of savior to pop out of the sky. It's not going to happen like that. From this physical reality, we have to walk ourselves out. because there is no rescue. You can't physically take me out of this, and I'm mentally creating this reality for myself. So no matter how much you try and save me, and I mean, you'll see all these stories of people who have tried to save drug addicts and, homeless people or whatever, and they always went back to their situation. Very few are actually able to make it out because, you see, we're creating everything with here. So physically saving me does nothing for me mentally. I'll just create the same hellish situation again. And so we need the liberation mentally, and we must do the necessary work because Spirit is speaking. The ancestors are speaking. The ancient ones are speaking. We have a spiritual team to guide us through that. So we have to tune in by purifying and detoxing ourselves so that all our antennas and instruments for connecting with the spiritual realm are kind of refined and can come back online like our first eye. And so no one is coming to save you. That's not how this reality works, beloveds. That's one of the greatest lies that has people kind of paralyzed in a paralysis situation. Because if you're waiting, you'll always be waiting, beloveds. Life is a state of mind. If your state of mind is a waiting one, you'll be in a waiting situation. The only thing that can change is that you have to change in here. So the only God you can operate with is a God inside who can save you from your mental self, from your lower mental self, and working with the spiritual team to help you get out. But there's no Jesus, there's no, no one's coming to save you, beloved. The second coming has happened. What do you think all those strange things are in the sky? Why do you think they're about to have a full-on UFO disclosure and tell us, aliens exist and then try and create the aliens? That's why they're trying to get everyone on this, 5G reality with their, with their bots through this experiment. So that they can create a false coming, like what you see in movies, and you'll see it in the sky like, whoa. But if you're seeing anything with this, it ain't real. Let's take a short break. We'll be right back.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, Africa.
Welcome back, beloveds, to Wake Up Africa. My name is Dr. Mumbi Seraki. No one's coming to save you, beloveds. And this is the greatest lie that is keeping a lot of people who could be doing a lot to get their lives together, to get out of Babylon, to save themselves. They're not doing anything. I mean, the number of messages I get, like, I'm just waiting on Yah, to come save me. I mean, how do you even think that looks? Maybe listening to this message or listening to a message from another brethren or sisterin that you're connected with spiritually and mentally. Maybe that's the spiritual rescue, because it's not a physical rescue, beloved. It's a spiritual rescue. And you see, what happened is that we were not, how do I put this? The kingdom was taken, what is that phrase? The kingdom is taken violently by force and violently. I'll look it up. It suffers like violence or something. It's one of those famous, But as I'm looking for it, beloveds, it's really important for us to know, here, from the days of John the Baptist, Matthew 11:12, from the days of John the Baptist until now, the kingdom of heaven have subjected to violence, and the violent, take it by force. The kingdom of heaven has suffered violence. The kingdom of heaven is an earthly concept. And it's mental first. So it's just like, ever since the creation and the manipulation of the scriptures and of the laws, in terms of you hide the laws so you don't even tell people what the laws are, and then you create some really low-level ones, so that people are constantly breaking the laws of the universe and experiencing their own karma. So you literally don't even have to mash them up, which is what Babylon has done, because people don't take certain things seriously. And then they wonder why their life is so messed up. But no one's coming to save you, beloveds. Let's just start there. The saving happens here. It's not a physical thing. You can't be physically set free if the colonization is mental. That's where we got it wrong to begin with. We went for the physical liberation when it was supposed to be a mental liberation all along. So stop waiting around. Your spiritual rescue is already happening. It's that voice that you keep hearing here and in your inner ear that is calling you to do something, is giving you specific instructions to help get you out of whatever situation it is, whether it's a lack of money, whether it's a lack of, knowing what you need to do. Whatever lack, the answer is deep within, but you have to do the work. And it's a difficult work, because in order to hear your mind, a healthy mind in a healthy body. And so people are going round and round and running around like headless chickens, beloveds, trying to save the world when they're the ones that need the saving. Spewing all these fantasies at people and using it like it's an authority. But let's just start with no one's coming to save you. That's totally on you. And time is of the essence, so you'd better get to work. You see, you got yourself in this mess mentally. And you need to get yourself out of this mess mentally. And maybe it wasn't just you. Maybe it was generational. You came into a family that was already in this massive confusion, etc., etc. But you're in it. And you can get yourself out. There is a spiritual team. You're not working alone. But the minute you stop looking for an external savior, you will find the Messiah in you. Tuko pamoja.